Okay, I'm going to try to hold as steady as I can. I got to get a good phone if I'm going to be making these videos. I got to get a good, not a good phone, better phone maybe, but a good camera. I don't know, maybe a GoPro or something. I don't know. I'll try to hold it steady because I look at my videos. I says, man, if I went to this guy's, what do you call it, channel, I would turn it right off in 5 seconds with all that shake and make me dizzy. So I got to do something about that. I'll try to hold it steady as I can. Anyway, working on all the, what do you call it, the rattles that come along with the C4s. Now, I have this car 30 years, and I got it with really low miles off a doctor on Long Island. It was never abused or anything, It still has very low miles. So trying to get to all the rattles, no matter what. I mean, still 30 or 40 years, going on 40 years old, going on 40. It's 38 years old. So it's getting there. I mean, even though it has low mileage, things dry out, things, rattles, start to get worse and get more rattles. Anyway, the one most annoying rattle was under the dash on the passenger side, the lens for the courtesy light. Not only that lens, will fool you if you think it's just the lens. Take it all apart, take that panel out. There's like a copper, well, that's what makes the connection for the bulb to go on. If anybody's ever had that apart, you know what I'm talking about. It has like a copper loop, it's a copper, it's like a frame sort of, and you put the bulb in there and you pull it. It's like a spring, not a spring, but it's got like, it's long. It's about maybe like 2 inches long. And as you're pulling it, you're connecting the bulb. Okay. What happens over time, the wires on the bulb stretch out, and then that copper becomes a rattle. So all you do is go in there with needle nose pliers, take the bulb out, twist it in. You'll see you'll know what I'm talking about when you have it in your hands, and you just just make it tight. And then when you put the bulb on it, it loads that copper, that copper brace that holds the bulb. You'll it's hard to explain. I should have did the video when I had it all apart, but just by me saying that, if you're gonna track down, a rattle, on the passenger side, that's one of the first places I would look. All right. And I took the whole dash apart. I found a lot of other rattles and wires. I mean, this car was never taken apart. I'm the second owner, and I have this car 30 years. February be 30 years I own it. Long time. It's got low mileage, but still rattles. These C4s rattle, I think, 6 months after they're new. They have so many moving parts in them. C5s didn't rattle as much because I think they learned not to put so many damn moving parts, so many parts. I think they have half the parts in the C5, in the interior and the doors and all of that, So, yeah, I did the dash. I pulled the whole dash apart, and I got to all these wires with the clips that hold the wires. They tap on the plastic and everything. And it's got to get in there and just wire tie everything up, I took all the door panels off, and I took care of all those rattles. Yeah, little tricks here and there. On those long rods, what I did was I just put some double-faced tape on the rods themselves, and it dampens it, so the rattle stopped because it's not tinny any longer, You could change the bushings, and, on the ends and everything, but 6 months later, it'll start rattling again anyway, And to take that all apart, I mean, it's not like a 70 Chevy or something, that you take the door panel and everything is there. No, you got to take everything apart. I mean, there's another structure behind the panel that has to come out to get to all of that stuff, and the window regulator. And all that. No way. I'm taking that all apart. No way. So I got to everything, and I got rid of all the rattles. Okay. Now, one of the biggest rattles that I had since I own this car, 30 years, the back hatch, right? I had all C4s. They all, you go on the forums, they says, oh yeah, I took the latch. I got my drop light here, so make it a little light. Yeah, on the latch there, you loosen the bolts, you drop the mechanism down a little bit, then tighten it up, and then the window, it's a little bit harder to close the window, and something that ain't gonna stop. if that's rattling, that I wouldn't do that. You break the glass or something, you know. And I doubt if the rattle was even coming from there, you know, because this thing, you know, oh, see, no way is that going to make any noise. No way. And I've always, you know, looked. I took the whole back panel apart, and I took the, what do you call it, the shade out. I thought that was rattling years ago. Rattle was this. I finally figured it out, what it was. All right, let me open the hatch and I'll show you what I did to fix it. All right, now, these struts, right? First, what I tried to do was I took them off, and I put a little silicone adhesive inside with the ball joint, you know. And I opened and closed it a couple of times. And now, if you test it, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so if you open the hatch and you pull on the strut, right, it doesn't really make a noise. You really got to really grasp. So no way. I mean, there's nothing. Look, I'm shaking it. There's really no noise from it. You know, when it's up, it's when it's down. I grab my hand inside, right? I grab my hand inside when it's down, and the thing is rattling inside the tube. The shaft, this shaft is rattling inside here. I never thought to grab that and see if it's shaking. It was rattling like I saw, my God, that's it. That's definitely it, you know? And what I did, what the fix was, I had these little, these little bushings I put here. And what happens is, let's see if I can get a better angle here. When the strut comes down, when you close the hatch, right, the strut's going to come down, and it's going to, this, at the edge of this strut is going to sit on this. Now, you can't make this too tight because you don't break the window, you know. I mean, and this is soft rubber. These were from an old power washer I had. I had bought a power washer years ago, and it was missing one of them in the shipping, and they sent me like a whole bunch of them. They sent me like 4 of them, you know. I think it was Northern Tool. They're a good company. Anyway, I saved them. I said, I'll make some use out of them. And they were like, you know, it was a gas-powered power washer. You had big wheels in the back, and it just sat down on these 2 feet in the front, you know. It's just rubber bushings. I had other rubber bushings, but I didn't have 2 to match. And I thought of these. I said, oh, maybe that'll work. It worked out perfect. So what happens is when you close the hatch, right, that's going to sit down. Let me see if I can show you. I'll try closing the hatch. Hold on. Okay. See, what happens is, you see that down in there? It pushes down on that rubber, right? And this does not rattle at all. Nothing. But you can't make this too tight. You know what I mean? You gotta play with it. I taped it there, and then, you know, I screwed it in, and I took my time. I didn't want to make it, you know, I could have went much higher with it, but it wasn't necessary. Always got to be just a little force on that, and it'll stop this from rattling, that rod in there from rattling, because it pushes this up, you know, pushes the strut up. Just a little bit. All you have to do is go really less than a ½ inch, you know, less than a half, not much, pushing up, you know, and use a soft rubber. Don't use anything hard. You don't want to break the glass. You don't want to push up, because that's going to be pushing up the strut and the glass. You know, you don't want to break your glass. So use something soft, play with it, and you'll get it. You know, you'll get it in the right position. I did both sides. I don't know if that's showing up. It's hard to see through the glass. Am I showing it? I don't know if you can see that. I did both sides, and they're both not rattling. It looks pretty good. I mean, with the hatch up, you wouldn't even notice unless I pointed them out to you. You can't even see them. You can't see them because they're under that strut, you know. Okay, so like I said, don't bring them up. Don't screw them to that side panel too high, you know, because it'll put too much pressure on the glass when you're pushing. You know, the strut will push up too much on the glass. Another thing, see this back panel? Well, kind of what they call it in the old cars. They call it a package tray, right? I put material on here. Nice, what do you call it? Like a felt material. You know, it was very. You know, you can shape it nice. Let me see. And that helps. You know, not so much with the rattle. It just looks nicer. You know. If you can see. Yeah, and I did the sides. It's a little different. It looks neater, it looks nicer. And originally, years ago, when I did do that, I said, oh, it'll help maybe with the rattle. Maybe that's rattling around. It's only a piece of plastic, you know? Yeah. Anyway, and I did my dashboard also. And it was a perfect dashboard. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to show. There wasn't a crack on that dash. But, yeah, I use the same material. It's like a fleece material. And it's very forgiving because it makes all the shapes. I use contact cement to spray contact cement. It's black. I don't know why this is showing a little reddish, but no, it's black. It's really black, dark black. And it's very forgiving, that material, because you can make all the shapes you got to make and go around the corners and everything. And yeah, it came out good. I did that long time ago. Yeah. And that was, well, I did, the main reason why I did the dashboard in that material, the black, is because the glare is unbelievable off that dashboard. Those dashboards aren't even leather. It's like a composite material. It's not vinyl. It's not leather. It's, I don't even know what you call it, and no matter what you do, there's always a shine to it. I tried even using, I think it was Black Magic, non-shine. I tried a couple other ones over the years. I just forget it. The glare is just too bad when the sun's on a certain angle. Oh, it was horrible, for years. So I says, I gotta, a lot of people, they put pads on there, and that helps absolutely, but I don't like the looks of the pads, it is what it is when you put a pad on it. It looks, looks like you're trying to cover up something. With this, you would never know that was covered. That looks, I don't know, kind of looks stock. If you don't know the cars, it looks stock. But all the glare stopped, because now there's nothing to reflect. That was really the main reason why I did that. Yeah. Guys would do that, if they have cracks in the dash. Not one crack. It was perfect. And I'm spraying it with contact cement. I said, what am I doing? But, it was worth it because it came out nice. Anyway. All right. I hope that helps somebody with this rattling with the hatch, because that can be annoying and they're hard, it's a hard rattle to find. And these are new struts too. These struts are less than a year old. So when I changed them, I says, oh, let's see, maybe the rattle will go away. That rattle's still there. But the new ones rattle. They're brand new. So that's what really threw me. I says, I started to think maybe it's something under the car. And I was looking at all the suspension. Everything's tight as anything. Everything is in good shape underneath there. There's not much mileage on this car. But anyway. All right. So I hope that helps somebody. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.